All right, the Bears bye week is over, and the game that we've been waiting for is almost here. Bears Commanders this Sunday in Washington, and it's going to be a big one between Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels. If you want the Bears to win this game and improve to 5-2, don't jinx it. Go ahead and like this video. I'm Harrison Graham. Chicago Bears Now is presented by Rome. Hook yourself up with some new clothing with Rome at rome.com/chatsports. Code chatsports get you 20% off. Rocking one of their polos right here. Link will be in the comments and in the description. All right, it is here, Week 8, Bears versus Commanders, as this should be a good one in Washington between a pair of rookie quarterbacks, as Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels duke it out this Sunday. Now, you get to the injury reports, and these are estimates, kind of gauges, because we won't have the first reports till Wednesday, and especially for the Bears coming off a bye week, hard to know where some of these players are at. But Jaquan Brisker was in the concussion protocol before the bye. We'll see where he sits coming up this week. Kyler Gordon left last game with a hamstring injury. Tyrique Stevenson injured his calf in practice leading up to the London game. Terell Smith has missed several weeks with a hip injury. Zacch Pickens several weeks with the groin. We'll see where those two guys are at coming off the bye week as well. For Washington, Jayden Daniels, more on him in a second, left yesterday's game with a ribs injury. Dorance Armstrong dealing with the ribs injury as well. Tyler Owens, their safety, has a shin injury. Both of those latter two players did not play in Washington's win over Carolina yesterday. Now, Jordan Schultz had an update this morning that Jayden Daniels is undergoing tests today to determine the severity of his rib injury per sources. Initial tests on Sunday showed no fractures, but further tests today and possibly in the coming days will provide more clarity. Look, I fully expect Jayden Daniels to play, but there's a scenario where he's a little compromised physically. If there's cracked ribs in there, even if they're not fractured, that could force him to hesitate to run. That could impact velocity on some throws. So we'll see. I hope that's not the case. I want these two quarterbacks to be at full strength when they go off against each other. But ribs for a quarterback who likes to run and is a little bit thin, that's something to monitor, and we'll continue to do that as the week progresses. All right, who has the edge? Head coach. I will give Dan Quinn the slight edge here. He's more proven. I think he's doing a pretty good job this year with clear roster limitations, especially on the defensive side of the ball. He's making them play at a respectable level on that side. He's been to a Super Bowl as a head coach. I like where things are trending with Matt Eberflus, but I think Dan Quinn's more proven, and you got to give him credit for that. So I'll lean Washington here. Quarterback, I'm going to go push. And I know some people are going to say, come on, Harrison, Jayden Daniels has had the better rookie year. Yeah, I'd say overall he has, but let's just take a look at the last 4 full games. I'm not going to count Daniels yesterday because he only played a handful of snaps before he left the game and did not return. Last 4 games. And I actually did Jayden a solid by going 4 instead of last 3, because that includes that game against Cincinnati where he was almost perfect. Completion percentage, both very good, 70% versus 75, certainly advantage Daniels there. Passing yards, slight advantage Caleb. TD interception ratio, essentially the same, 3-1. QB rating, both well above 105. Rush yards, obviously Jayden Daniels gets the advantage there, but Caleb's still over 100 as well. I think it's pretty fair to say the last month, both these guys are playing really well. Now, if you analyze their whole rookie seasons, would you say Daniels has been better? Yeah, I'd probably say that. But it only matters right now. And right now, both these guys are playing at a top 12 quarterback level in the league, top 15 at worst. I mean, they're both playing really, really well. So excited to see these guys duke it out. Caleb's obviously been trending up the last several weeks, and Jayden's been pretty solid throughout the entire 2024 season. Who's going to have the better game this Sunday? This will be the pinned comment on today's show. Type CW for Caleb Williams, JD for Jayden Daniels. After this YouTube ad break, we'll keep it rolling with our Bears Commanders preview. All right, skill groups. I got to go Bears here. They got Brian Robinson, really good back, Terry McLaurin. After that, they just kind of have a bunch of role players. It's still a good group, but I think the Bears have more firepower with DJ Moore. Keenan Allen came on the last game out. Cole Kmet's been one of the better tight ends in the NFL. And DeAndre Swift the last 3 weeks has been one of the most dynamic running backs in the league. So I would lean Chicago here. but Washington does have a good group of skill guys, some young guys as well. All right, before we get to the next one, Bears Now is presented by Rome. The Commuter Collection by Rome is the most comfortable, breathable, and truly versatile set of products known to man, and that's why they launched it. They wanted to reinvent the men's closet. They have products for every occasion. We're talking about the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, even blazers. They look great as individual pieces and work seamlessly together. And mobility is everything. Looking good is one thing. A lot of clothing companies are going to have you do that. But with their 4-way stretch fabric here, you're going to be feeling comfortable, breathable. If you're, moving a lot for work, if you're, traveling, if you're wanting to go just on the golf course outside of work and go throw on one of these polos, you can do that as well. They're going to fit you for every occasion. You're going to look good and you're going to feel good at the same time. And guess what? Best part about Roan, other than the deal we're offering you, 20% off, code ChatSports at roan.com/chatsports. Machine washable clothing. You're going to save even more money in the long run once you fit yourself up with Roan, because you don't have to go to the dry cleaner. So check out Roan today, RHONE. It is roan.com/chatsports. Code ChatSports gets you 20% off. Check it out right now. Link is in the comments and in the description. Okay, offensive line. I'll go push here. Both groups are just kind of okay, average. I like how the Bears O-line has played in recent weeks, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's a top 10 unit. I think Washington's O-line's been better than expected, but it's still not great. I think both are kind of middle of the pack. Okay, defensive line. Bears, pretty clearly. You took their best defensive lineman, other than maybe Jonathan Allen, who's now out, in Montez Sweat from them last year. It's not murderer's row for Chicago up front, but it's been pretty damn good. Billings has been pretty good. Dexter's been awesome. You're getting good contributions out of DeMarcus Walker, Austin Booker, and Darrell Taylor. The Commanders' front just isn't that good, especially without Jonathan Allen now, so that's a clear advantage, Chicago. Linebackers, this might surprise you. I'm going to go push. Bobby Wagner is still very good. And I'm forgetting the other guy's name. It's like Futu, or is it Frankie Louvu? Thank you, Producer Colin. He's having a good year as well. On paper, you would say Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jack Sanborn. And if I had to pick, I'd lean Chicago. But the way both groups have played this year, like Washington's linebacker group's actually been pretty good. So I'm going to go push here. Secondary, clear advantage Bears. Now, clearly they got a lot of guys injured. Is Brisker going to play this week? Is Gordon and Stevenson going to play? If a few of those guys are out, it could even up, but Washington's secondary is a pretty clear weakness. Like, I think if you look at their whole roster, their biggest weakness is their secondary. Emmanuel Forbes has been a bust. He did have a pick yesterday, but overall, he has not been very good whatsoever at corner. We'll get the keys to victory, but I think there's opportunities to exploit that group. All right, special teams, push. Austin Seibert's been good. Cairo Santos has been good. Both punters, Tressway and Torrey Taylor, are good, so really nothing to dissect too much in that regard. Okay, coming up, we're going to get to my Bears keys to victory here on Chicago Bears Now. Before we do that, though, just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. We're continuing to bring you guys Bears content every single day, the latest Bears news, rumors. Will be live on Sunday as well for a Bears Commanders watch party, so be sure to join us for that. Okay. Hit Jayden Daniels. Within the rules, obviously. I'm not saying be dirty, but he's got some level of a ribs injury. At minimum, you would think he's going to be sore. You need to make him feel contact. And that was a big thing with him coming out of college, is he took a lot of unnecessary hits at LSU. He's maybe 200 pounds, and I think that's generous. He's probably playing at 190, 195. And the Bears are the best defense he's faced. He's had a heck of a year so far, but he's doing it against bad defenses. Granted, Caleb recently is too, but the point is the Bears bring more physicality than the teams he's played up to this point. If you have an opportunity to hit him within the rules of the game, hit him and hit him hard, because he needs to feel that contact, needs to feel that pressure, and that's how you rattle a quarterback. You hit him and you hit him again. So I think that's got to be a goal. Hit the quarterback as long as it's within the rules of the game, of course, and make him feel it, because that could rattle him a little bit if he does. All right, number 2, challenge their secondary. We just talked about it. Their secondary is just not very good. Jeremy Chin's an okay safety. Their corners are not very good. It doesn't mean you have to throw a bunch of deep balls. It's obviously been a part of the passing offense for the Bears. It's been pretty hit and miss so far, mostly misses if we're being honest. But deep crossers, we saw some of that against Carolina, just forcing these corners to make quick decisions. That is not an area of strength for Washington. Benjamin St-Juste is an average corner, and he's their number one. Mike Sanders still is a rookie, and he's still trying to figure things out. Noah Igbenogany has been terrible throughout his NFL career. I mentioned Emmanuel Forbes. He's been mostly a bust up to this point. So I think the Bears receiving core and Caleb against this secondary should be a massive advantage for the Bears, and Shane Waldron's got to figure out how to exploit that weakness. All right, I mentioned it. Join our watch party on Sunday at 2 o'clock Central. They moved the game to 3:25 Central, so we're going to go live at 2. Loaded pregame show. Should be a lot of fun, and we'll, of course, stay live throughout the game with our reactions. So lock us in. Videos all week leading up to kickoff. Bend, don't break on defense. And that's, at times, kind of the philosophy of this defense, although I think Flus has done a good job of disguising coverages and ramping up the pressure. It's not nearly as vanilla as it was to start his tenure here, especially when Al Williams was calling plays. But I think in this game in particular, what are Jayden Daniels' biggest strengths? Deep ball, running around. Those are his top 2 strengths. Contain him, be smart with your rush lanes, and also don't give up the deep play. That's how you limit Jayden Daniels. Make him dink and dunk and be methodical. And if you do that, and if he does it, more power to him. But that's not what they want to do. They want to hit explosive plays down the field and with Jayden as a runner. And if you can limit that and force him into these 3rd and 6s where he has to diagnose and make tough throws, I think the Bears defense has a pretty good shot here. So that is what I would try to do. Okay, get Rome Odunze the ball. I've been saying it for a few weeks. I feel like he's on the precipice of a big game here. I just don't think he's getting enough targets. And look, I'm not blaming Waldron or Caleb or anyone. This offense is playing really well right now. I just feel like it's Rome's turn now, and when he gets the ball, good things happen. On 11 targets the last 3 weeks, he's got 8 catches for 90 yards. So when you throw him the ball, good things are happening. Does that mean force feed him? No. You've got a ton of good weapons. You have DJ Moore. You have Keenan Allen. You have Cole Kmet. Swift as a weapon out of the backfield has been on full display. I'm not saying give him 11 targets on Sunday. Let's give him 6 or 7, though. Let's give him more than 2 or 3, which in some of these games is all he's getting. So let's get Rome Odunze the ball. And I mentioned that weakness at secondary. They're probably going to put St-Juste on DJ Moore. Rome Odunze should be able to cook whoever is guarding him in this spot, especially in man coverage situations. So look to exploit that opportunity. Okay, last one. Not really a key to victory, but just kind of a thing that needs to happen if Flus is going to be the guy long term. You got to prove you can win on the road in this league. The Bears have built a nice home field advantage. I think they've won 8 in a row at home. I guess technically 9 if you count the London game, because that was a Bears home game. It counts as a home game, but whether you count that or not, they've been very good at Soldier Field dating to the latter part of last season. But they've been atrocious on the road. They're 3-16. This year they're 0-2. The Houston game, whatever. I mean, you lose that game by 6 and Caleb's second start. Like that's no issue. But you lose to the Colts, who, I mean, Richardson's just a train wreck. That's a game you'd love to have back. And in general, you have not been successful on the road. You've got to win your fair share of road games to be a playoff team. You can't expect to go 8-9-0 at home and just go like 2-7 on the road. Like, can you go 4-4 on the road? Can you go at least 3-5 on the road? Like, these next 2 games against Washington and Arizona feel like prime opportunities to get road wins. You got to get at least one of them here. So no better the time than the present than to go into Washington and take one. It's basically going to be a pick'em game here. By the way, I kind of like the over. We'll get to my score prediction here in just a second. But Bears at Washington in Landover, Maryland should be a fun one, and a lot of eyeballs on this game. This is the CBS A-Team crew with Nance Romo and Tracy Wolfson. So the NFL is telling you, hey, we value these 2 commodities right now, Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels. So hopefully the Bears can hold up their end of the bargain. All right, predict the score. Bears, Commanders on Sunday. Who wins and what is the final score going to be? I've got my Monday score prediction here. I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm going to go Bears 28-24, which means the streak would end of giving up 21 points or less over the last 12 games. I have questions about the secondary and the health. We'll find out more as the week goes on. But I respect Jayden in this Washington offense enough. They're going to score. But I just think the Bears' defense is notably better than Washington's. I think they'll find a way to win this one 28-24, which would be a critical win in the grand scheme of things in the NFC playoff picture. All right, there you have it, my Bears-Commanders Week 8 preview. It's going to be a fun week getting you guys ready for this game. A lot of content to come. We'll be live this afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time, as always, on Monday. My name is Harrison Graham. We will see you guys then.